Hey everybody, I'm Kareen Ben-Gwalid from Brought to You by the Letter K, and today I'm going to be talking to you guys about what SaaS companies can learn from e-commerce. So there's lots of really great marketing lessons out there, and so I hope you enjoy today's webinar. Let's begin. Okay, so first, you're probably wondering who I am. So my name is Kareen Ben-Gwalid, like I said. I've been in marketing for 16 years, and I've worked for some really great brands like NBA, NHL, MLS teams. I've worked for polar travel and luxury travel companies. But most recently, I've been a freelance copywriter for myself. And fun is actually my second favorite F word. I'm on a mission to make B2B marketing more fun because I believe every business can bring a varying degree of fun to their marketing. It's all about finding the threshold of fun that's just the right size of the sandbox that you can play with. And I believe wholeheartedly that there is a sandbox for every business to play in. And so that's why today I want to bring you some lessons from e-commerce that you guys can apply to your SaaS business. So the name of my company is Brought to You by the Letter K, and for those of you who are old enough to understand the reference, it is a Sesame Street reference. So without further delay, today we're going to be talking about what SaaS companies can learn from e-commerce. So the marketing lessons that you're going to learn throughout this session are product and SEO, how they go hand in hand, using consistent messaging, talking taboo, loyalty programs, giving back, brand voice, fun marketing, which is my personal favorite, and innovating or innovation, and original promotions. So the first example I'm going to talk about is the Amazing Group, and they were established in 2010, and they are the parent company to lifestyle brands Amazing Lights, I Heart Raves, and Into the AM. So the example I'm going to use with the Amazing Group is spotlighting product pages with SEO. So the most important thing when you're talking, when you're writing product page descriptions is to use benefits over features. So benefits is really about how it will improve your user's life, whereas features is what it can do and how it works. So there's a big difference, and customers really want to see the benefits before they see the features. It's important to research the right keywords. Long tail keywords win every time. Don't keyword stuff your descriptions. That's that's an old tactic to do, and it's not recommended anymore. You should use your keywords at least one time in your URL, product description, title, body, alt name tag, that sort of thing. Write for buyers, not bots, because at the end of the day, if the buyers, if your customers, if your prospects aren't typing in the information that you're putting in terms of the keywords, then they're not going to find you, and no amount of ranking is going to help you. And avoid similar descriptions for similar products, because that just confuses the Google gods. So the example for Amazing is the Sequin Bra. So they rank the top 2 non-sponsored posts for Sequin Bra, because that's what they do, is they use the keywords. They know that this is the keyword that their users will shop for on Google. So when they're shopping for a sequin bra, this is what they're going to be typing in. So they've really maximized that. So the sassy lessons, write for humans first. Stay consistent in your keywords. Long tail keywords trump short tail every time. The next example is Ring. So for those of you who don't know, Ring was founded in 2012, and it manufactures a range of home security products, such as the Ring video doorbell. And the company is actually owned by Amazon. So what Ring does really well is they use consistent messaging throughout their channels, their paid and owned channels. So every single message rings, pardon the pun, true to their users and their visitors. So that means on their website, social media, newsletters, ads, videos, hashtags, etc. They tailor the content for each of their channels. And they use similar wording. They use the same play on words for similar holidays. So an example would be for Mother's Day and Father's Day, the tag was give mom a ring or give dad a ring. And the consistency provides a uniform experience through all the touch points for the customers. So this is the example of Father's Day. So this was on their homepage. And then for Mother's Day, this was on Instagram. So again, the same kind of messaging, and they use it in their hashtags and everything. So the sassy lessons provide a similar experience for your users and prospects. Keep all your messaging and branding consistent on all your channels, because that way all the touch points will feel the same to your customers. Thinx, so for those of you who also don't know, is a feminine hygiene products company, and they just started 5 years ago. And what they do really well is they take the taboo out of periods, which I know probably makes some adults in the room still cringe, but that's the point. They embrace the taboo, the negative, the real, because this is their business, and this is what has made them extremely popular with women around the world. They go hard on content and on puns. So their Thinx blog is called The Periodical. They share real stories from real women and real users. They tackle health issues, feminism, pop culture, myth busting, and even write about, get men to write about period and menstruation from their perspective, which is really innovative. They use humor and puns, like I said, lots of eggs, you'll see in a second, and no BS facts from experts. So this is what their blog looks like. So like I said, the puns with the eggs, very prevalent. But the other thing that they do really well is that they use customer reviews front and center throughout the site. And they drive prospective customers to the review pages, which is really interesting. Women share their stories more openly on their blog and social media, thanks to the community that they've built with this open dialogue. And why do they do this? Because they understand that an innovative concept like Thinx underwear requires a change in behavior and for users to adapt the said change. So by talking about it and being more open about it and making women feel comfortable about what is completely natural, women have adopted this new lifestyle. So like you see, they send people back to reviews. So the lessons, sassy and all, understand the struggles that your prospects face and tackle them head on. So in SaaS, it's probably a little bit less taboo, but the reality is that your prospects usually face some sort of challenge or difficulty that they may or may not be willing to talk about. And if your product makes their life or their business life easier, then address it head on. Don't hide behind flowery words. Don't be afraid to talk about the taboo stuff. Addressing it makes it feel like your prospects will be more confident in their decisions to use your products and to sign on. The next example is Eden's Garden. So they were founded about 10 years ago, and they offer a range of personal care products and 100% pure essential oils, which is a booming market these days. So what they do really well is they reward loyalty for their customers. So unbeknownst to me, before I started researching them, the essential oil business is a $1 billion industry, which is incredible. And a 2017 Accenture report showed that loyalty and rewards program members generate 12 to 18% more incremental revenue growth versus non-members. And so here's the link at the bottom of this slide. I'll leave it up for a little bit so you can write that down if you're interested in more data. But so this is really important because capitalizing on loyalty and rewards programs means that you can do more for your customers and reward them. So what Eden's Gardens did is they came up with clever names, so rose and lavender essential oils. And there's two tiers to their program. So entry level, and then a more robust program for those who spend more. But what they're doing with these two programs is they're not excluding anybody. So even if you're just a casual shopper, you're still part of the loyalty program. So for occasional and frequent buyers, this is a great way to kind of incentivize occasional buyers to maybe want to become frequent buyers. But it also doesn't penalize occasional buyers for not being frequent or big spenders. They're both free to join. And they even reward you just for joining, for sharing on social media, for your birthday, for referrals, for a bunch of stuff. So they make it really easy to earn points as well, which means it's more incentive for the users to actually do all of these things. So as you can see, they call their points notes because, again, it's a play on essential oils and aromatherapy. But for all of these actions that you do, you get more notes. So it's really easy for people to just accumulate notes and do this like super easily. And it's really encouraging. So the sassy lessons are rewarding your customers pays off in the long run. Make it easy for your customers to be rewarded. So don't make them jump through too many hoops because they want the instant gratification. Tiers work really well, again, because it doesn't penalize people who are infrequent shoppers, but it also incentivizes them to maybe want to move up in the tiers. And get creative with it. So just like how Eden's Gardens use the words notes instead of points, they use lavender and rose for the names of the tiers. Try to come up with unique ways to create your program. So U-Foods is a fresh meals delivery service across Australia. And pardon the pun, but they are putting their money where their balls are, literally. So their coconut protein bars are one of their most popular items. And what they did was they dedicated a sales window where $1 from every sale, so about 33%, goes to charity. And the charities they chose were the Prostate Cancer Foundation of Australia and the National Breast Cancer Foundation for Australia. And they raised 1 million Australian dollars to donate, which is the equivalent of 13,000 hours of research, which is amazing for these two important causes. You could say this was a balls to the wall promo. Sorry, I couldn't help myself. So as you can see on the page, even the packaging, it takes balls. They're playing on the whole protein ball thing and the breast cancer. And I don't mean to laugh at breast cancer, but breast cancer and prostate cancer concepts. So they chose a charity that was important to the company. And so, like I said, they use the pun and the imagery of prostates and breasts being round with their balls to play on it and have fun with it. It went to the National Prostate and Breast Cancer Foundation. So even serious causes can use a little levity sometimes to make it more interesting. And what they did was great because they used one of their most popular items because they knew that it would sell to donate the money. And they managed to raise such an incredible amount of money for such an important causes. So Purple is the online mattress retailer. So most of you have probably heard of them, but if you haven't, I highly recommend that you look into them. What they do really well is they speak to their customers in a unique brand voice. So very much the millennial fun type. So currently there are over 200 online mattress retailers, which means there's an incredible competition market out there. So to stand out, one of the founders had asked his millennial daughter to write the Kickstarter page for them. And what ended up happening is that her fun, snarky, pop culture infused voice is how people started to recognize Purple, and it made people more interested in the mattress and in the product. So they used it everywhere: internal communications, packaging, on-hold messaging, all the customer touch points, the videos, everything that you see with Purple utilizes the same brand voice. So here's an example, just a snippet of the original video.
When it comes to mattresses, you just only have three choices. Looking for some shoulder pain? Try a hard mattress. Oh, you may feel like a rock and put pressure on your hips, but it's the perfect way to tell your partner, hey, baby, want some arthritis?
So as you can see, that was very much tongue-in-cheek, fun way to talk about the competition. So the sassy lesson with Purple is that you need to create a brand voice and style that is unforgettable and unique to your own. Make sure it's something that you're comfortable keeping forever and ever and ever. Just kidding. You can change it down the road, but ideally, if you come up with a brand voice that's amazing, like Purple, and that really becomes your signature, your trademark, the way people recognize you, you're probably not going to want to get rid of it. So just make sure that it's not like a fleeting kind of thing, that you'll be happy keeping this voice for years to come. And stay consistent in your style in all of your channels. So what they do is in social media, in their videos and everything, Purple really goes all in on their brand voice, which is really great, and how everybody recognizes them and loves them so much. So the next example is IKEA. I'm pretty sure everybody watching this will know what IKEA is. But what they do really great is they, like I say, they laugh all the way to the Swedish bank, because there's been so many times that jokes have come out about IKEA, and instead of ignoring them, they jump on the jokes and they become part of the joke and they engage. So the first example is Balenciaga, which is a Spanish luxury fashion house, launched a bag that retails for over $2,000 US. The bag this is the bag. This is the Balenciaga $2,000 bag. But the problem is that it also looks like the IKEA reusable shopping bag. So what they did was they created a campaign of who wore it best. We came out with it first, we were better, that kind of thing. And it was really well received by everybody on the internet, because of course they were just making fun of themselves. And of course of Balenciaga, but that's a different story. The other example is Jon Snow from Game of Thrones. Everybody loves Game of Thrones. This is our friend Jon Snow from The Night's Watch. So true or not, it came out that the costume designers used the Skold sheepskin rug from IKEA to outfit Jon Snow. And so what they did was they created a fictional but on-brand instruction document to go with the rug. So we've all seen these paper instruction docs that they include in all of their furniture to be able to assemble it. So what they did was they even gave it an IKEA-worthy name, Vinter Skaldavarmer. And it sounds like what it is. So basically, you buy the rug, you cut the rug, you wear the rug, and then you look like a Night's Watch man. So whether or not it increased the sales of the rug, we don't know. But the point is that they didn't shy away from it. They didn't, whether it's true or not, they didn't try to dispute the fact, but they just jumped on the joke. So they ran with it, and it was amazing. They weren't afraid to make fun of themselves because they recognized the value of it. They join in on the social media conversation. So people on Reddit, people on Instagram, people on Facebook and Twitter, they were having a field day with this. And so they decided, hey, we're fun. We can do this too. So they were part of the conversation in the end, which was even better than what it was before. Williams-Sonoma, for those of you outside of North America, they started actually in 1956 in the San Francisco Bay Area, and they sell kitchenwares and home furnishings. But what they've done for a company that's, quite established, is they went from selling to customers in their brick and mortar store to mail order, which is essentially the precursor to e-commerce. So in 2017, Williams-Sonoma was actually the number one furniture and home furnishings retailer based on e-commerce sales, which is incredible. And in 1972, what happened was they only had the store in the San Francisco Bay Area, and customers who would come to visit the area who didn't live in the Bay requested that they create a mail order catalog because they really loved the things that Williams-Sonoma was selling, and so they wanted to just keep being able to buy it even if they weren't in California. So you could say that the mail order catalogs became their precursor to e-commerce, which was great. And the retail by mail framework was already in place for them because of this, which made jumping to e-commerce when it first started super easy for them. So this is a photo that I found of one of their first catalogs, which is pretty cool. So from 1972. So the lesson is listen to what your customers want, because sometimes they might be able to give you a little bit of insight of where the industry is going, and you never know what insights might help your business boom. And also don't be afraid to listen to new trends, shifting gears for your business, going with the flow. Ideally, like, I'm not talking about huge changes, but adding things that would make life easier for your customers is definitely the way to go. The last example is No Bull. They're a fitness, footwear, apparel, and accessory online retailer. And what they do is they have midnight launches for their new products, and they sell out all the time. So their competition is essentially Nike, Adidas, and Reebok. So with competition like that, there's no excuse for failure. And that also just happens to be part of their motto. And when demand exceeds supply, it's easy to sell out. So with products, it's obviously easier to sell out than with SaaS. But the lesson still remains that there are a lot of similarities between e-commerce and SaaS, in that you both rely on your platforms heavily, and it's really important that your platforms don't crash when there's demand. So with these midnight launches, what they create is only the most loyal customers will show up and stay up for midnight because they know that their products are amazing and they know that they want to be the first to have them. So kind of like how people will line up at stores, when Kanye West drops his sneaker, this is kind of the e-commerce equivalent of that. So on their website, they have a launch calendar, and it tells you exactly what dates, what is being launched, so you can plan accordingly and you know exactly what time it's going to launch. So if you want the product, you know where to be and when to be. So the lessons, ensure that your platform can grow with the demand, because obviously the goal is to get increase demand for your products. Build hype and excitement for all of your new products. Reward, loyal customers for showing up with unique offers. So to recap today's lessons, using SEO to shine a light on your product pages is amazing. Using consistent messaging across all your owned and paid channels rings true for your customers. Don't think too much about addressing taboo topics. I know the puns are really heavy in this. Don't create a garden variety loyalty program. Put your money where your SaaS is. Sorry, that's half a pun. I couldn't think of a full one. Keep your unique brand voice consistent, not just out of the purple, not blue. Joining the fun of your communities is a great way to gain bonus points with them. I kid you not. And listen to what your customers want, so no man or your brand is left behind. That's my little sound effect for a drum roll because puns are amazing. Selling out is no bull, and creative promotions will get you there. So that's the end of my presentation for today. I hope you guys enjoyed it and took away a few lessons. If you have any questions, want more marketing fun tidbits from me, you can go to my website at www.theletterk.ca and sign up for my infrequent newsletter. You can email me if you have any questions about my presentations or anything at all. I'm k@theletterk.ca. And we can be friends. I'm on Twitter, I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm on Facebook. So come and find me. So this lesson in marketing products has been brought to you by the letter K, and I hope you guys have a great rest of the day and enjoy the rest of the summit presentations.